Philosophy. What happens when a brand loses their ways, drifts further and further apart from their original philosophies? The Shipper thesis is a thought experiment that states if an object has all of its parts replaced, is it still the original object or something new? I think there's one answer. I think if you stay true to the original object, then yes, it's still the same object. But when you take the original and replace it with a sandpaper shaft, you don't have the original object anymore. You have something very uncomfortable to fuck yourself with. Unfortunately, that's what happened to OnePlus. Creators like Linus Tech Tips and MKBHD have spoken out on this and why OnePlus isn't OnePlus anymore. Even its founder, Carl Pei, whose username is @getpaid on social media. That username goes harder than a priest in preschool. Anyway, he could see this, and he jumped ship in October 2020, and started a new brand with OnePlus's original philosophies. This brand is nothing. No, literally, the brand is called Nothing. Now, but what up guys, it's Crimson, and this is my review of the Nothing Phone 1. Now right off the bat, you'll probably notice the hole punch in the top left, and remember what I said in the why I got rid of my iPhone 11 video about Megan Fox and hole punches. And I'll admit, I was wrong. Coming from the OnePlus 7 Pro, it would probably piss me off. But I'm coming from the iPhone 13 Pro, so having a tiny hole at the top left is a breath of fresh air, you know. As opposed to the fucking massive loaf of bread looking ass at the top of mine. Especially when the hole is surrounded by a beautiful 120Hz 1080p HDR10 Plus OLED screen with 1200 nits peak brightness. It's nothing special for a flagship, but when you consider it's only a 400 quid phone, that's insane. Especially when you consider Nothing paid extra to have a flexible OLED panel so that it doesn't have to have a thicker chin than the other sides of the phone. It's a subtle detail, but it's what separates it from the more budget Android phones and makes it feel like a flagship. But the screen doesn't really matter. What does matter is the back of the phone. Here you'll find 5 LED strips bright enough to give a free epilepsy test to anyone you want, even in sunlight. Nothing calls this the glyph interface. But what does it actually do? It flashes when you're being rang or get notifications. The bottom light acts as a battery bar when you're charging. It lights up when you reverse wireless charge. It lights up when you talk to Google Assistant, and in the camera app, it can even be used as a fill light. Speaking of cameras, this baby has two 50 megapixel cameras, one wide and one ultra wide. These are decent, but obviously aren't coming close to the iPhone 13 or Samsung S22. But again, it's not bad, it's just not as good as the crazy expensive ones. It's got a fast under-display fingerprint scanner and a good quality speakers that get plenty loud enough. Moving to the inside of the phone, you get a Snapdragon 778G Plus, 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage, paired with a 4500 mAh battery. It's not the biggest battery, but it's not the fastest processor. And put together, that means you get great battery life. It lasts all day easily, and once got me through 2 days on very light use on one charge. And even when it does die, it will charge back up before you can say, "I'm not racist, but..." Thanks to the 33 watt fast charging, which Nothing says can charge it to 100% from empty in 17 minutes. And if you're one of those twats that are already worried about specs, don't be. Although this isn't an 800 series processor or the new Gen 8, it's buttery smooth 99% of the time. This is thanks to Nothing software, an Android skin called Nothing OS. Just like Carl's philosophy at OnePlus, there was a big push for software optimization, smooth animations, and a close to stock Android experience. This means no poor translation from Chinese, no ads everywhere, no 2 copies of every fucking system app, just a clean stock Android experience. And there's no bloat on here at all, either stock Android system apps or nothing. I personally have installed some OnePlus system apps to pay homage to their origin. The only modification Nothing has made are these 2 big bubbles at the top. The left for mobile data, Wi-Fi and hotspot, and the right one just for Bluetooth. Other than that, they've done a retro theme throughout the software, like the dot matrix style font on the titles and widgets, the old beeps and boops of the ringtones and notifications, and the tape deck recorder in the app. It's nerdy, but in a charming way. And the callback to retro tech and the lights aren't its only selling points, they're just a cherry on top. It's also extremely similar to the iPhone. In fact, it's pretty much the same footprint as the iPhone 12 and 13 Pro Max. The buttons are in the same place, and the under-display fingerprint scanner is about as low down as they were on the old iPhones, and the buttons are even in the same place. This isn't a mistake. Nothing is coming full force or Apple's throat. And their whole philosophy is to make quality products, but with an open ecosystem, unlike Apple's very closed down, closed ecosystem. Their dream is to have your devices work with everything else you own, seamlessly. Over the last week of daily driving this phone, most people ask, you paid 400 quid for lights? No, I paid 400 quid because nothing is a British brand, and in case you couldn't tell, I'm very fucking British. That totally doesn't make me racist, though. I promise I'm not racist, okay? But why should you care about this phone? It's a solid phone, it's a good value, and it's a great software experience. Decent camera, good battery, and it's better than the Pixel 6a, which is the same price. And it's the start to a company that you'd be stupid not to keep your eyes on. The lights are cooler, you know? So if you're looking for a good phone, sick of Samsung's shitty looking One UI skin, made the grave mistake of buying a Chinese phone, or just want a form factor of an iPhone but with the Android software, or if you're one of the old fans of OnePlus that aren't happy with their new philosophy of the rebranded Chinese phones with Chinese software at flagship prices, then this is the phone for you. But that's about all for this video. Peace.